Hey guys, Will here with MediaPlace, and in this video we're going to take a deeper dive into the library page so you can have a better understanding of how to enhance your workflow inside of MediaPlace. Alright, so let's start at the top and let's talk about libraries. Alright, so a library is where MediaPlace stores all of your assets you import into the software itself. Right, so it's a dedicated place in your hard drive that contains all of the assets that you're utilizing within MediaPlace. Alright, so the cool thing is that you can have multiple libraries. So if you take, for example, look at my screen here, I've got Will's Media, and this is where I currently am, right? Now I can go back and I made one for some archive pictures that I was working on with some video. So maybe I was utilizing this and I was like, you know what? These projects are getting a little old, so I archived them into a different library so they don't get mixed in with my new stuff that I'm working on, right? So I can come back over here at the top and switch back to Will's Media. Now I can easily create a new library by clicking here, going to create new library, and maybe I want to call this, new projects. And then hit create. Choose where I want to save this archive, right? Wherever you want to choose on a hard drive, external hard drive, maybe the cloud. But if you do save in the cloud, for example, maybe Dropbox or Google Drive, the only thing is you need to make sure that the online only feature is turned off. But it's still doable. That just feature needs to be turned off. All right, so once I've picked a spot, I can hit open. And then now I've created a new library, fresh from scratch, and I can start importing in files and different things and start tagging them and getting organized and getting all my files together in this new library. All right, so I'm going to go back to my Will's Media here. And so that's libraries, right? It gives you the gist of what that is, right? So you remember you can have multiple libraries. And also the cooler thing with it is if you have other people that you're working with that are utilizing MediaPlace, you can share libraries between each other, right? So maybe you're collaborating with somebody who's working on projects and they want you to have access to these files that have been tagged and organized and labeled, and that way you can use them for the projects that you're working on. You can quickly share across and import in their existing libraries into your library, which is awesome too. It's an awesome feature. All right, next up, we're going to talk about how to filter between different file types, right? So right now I'm set to all types, so I'm looking at every type of file I have imported into MediaPlace, right? Now, if I click on images, it will show me all the images I have in this database. So I can quickly sort through and look for pictures as opposed to sorting through all these pictures and then video clips and then graphic files. Everything picture related is in this folder structure, right? Now, if I click on video, it shows me all the video files I have. I can quickly see the resolution they're at, how many seconds, whether these are MP4s or MOVs. It's right there for me to see in a fast, efficient way. And then of course I can see all my audio files, right? Okay, I got 2 waves, I got 3 MP3s, or 2 MP3s and 3 waves. I can see how long these tracks are, and then what I've rated them, right? So I know that I've got 3 tracks that I got at a high rating so that I can utilize for different projects. And then of course you've got your graphic files, so I can see those at a high level. I've got an Illustrator file, EPS files. And then if I come over here to fonts, the cool thing about this is that I can actually install and uninstall all my fonts from here, right? From MediaPlace allows me to do that. So if I want to install fonts for Photoshop or other applications, I can come in here, import these fonts. I can install them, I can uninstall them. I could rate them, right? And then give them tags, or that way I can look up my favorite fonts, or give them project titles, right? Tag them for projects. So that way, if you're collaborating with other people and they need access to fonts, you can quickly search them up and then share them across so that everybody's on the same page when it comes to your fonts. So it's a super powerful way to utilize fonts within MediaPlace, right? All right, so now let's talk about the default folders you have here for you and how they can help you out. All right, so all files is pretty self-explanatory, right? When you have all files selected, it shows you all of the files that you have within MediaPlace, right? So that's a very helpful way to look at all your files at one time. Now, if you click on files with no folders, right now I don't have any of these files in folders yet, but we'll get to that. But it will show you which of the files you don't have placed in a folder, right? So you can quickly sort through stuff. Maybe you imported something really quick, or a few items really quick. You can see which ones haven't been placed, so you can then categorize them accordingly, right? And then of course we have files with no tags, right? So like if I click on this image, you'll see that it has no tag. So I could give this a tag, and I could call this, buildings, and then maybe outdoor, right? So that way now that thing is tagged, and then I just got to go through and tag the rest of these based on what they are. So I can search them up easier later on, right? And then I can look at unrated files. So all of these files have no rating, right? So I can come to this font here and I could give it a 3 rating. I can give this video a 5-star rating. And then I could just know exactly what files haven't been rated, so I can make sure to go back when I have time and then rate them, so that way everything stays up to date and organized, right? So a quick way to kind of sort through your files with certain parameters, so you can go back and fill in the gaps where you need to. All right, so now let's talk about how we had files with no folders. Let's go ahead and add a few folders so I can show you how to add miscellaneous media to these folders and then how the folder structures can work, right? All right, so let's go to all files here and then let's add a folder right here. And I'll call this, let's go to new folder and let's call this video, right? And then we're gonna add one more and let's call it new folder and let's call it music, right? All right, so now let's go back to all files here. And then the quick way that I can grab all of the video files is, again, like I can just go here and select video. And so now I can just select all of my video files and drag them into our video folder, right? And then the same thing with my music files, right? So if I go to my music audio tab here, I can select all of my audio files and drag them into my music, right? So now I've got my video files in my video and I've got my music files in my music folder, right? So that's how you can set up basic folder structures, right? Now you can add subfolders, right? So I could come over here to video, I could right click it, I can add a folder inside, I can add a folder after. Let's do inside and let's call this, this one new footage, right? And then from there, I could add new footage that I have for this video, or I can start getting more detailed and add just different types of file types for that new footage, right? Same thing with music, right? You can come in here and you can let's add a folder after, you can just do that from there. And then let's call this one fonts. And then now we can go in here to all of our fonts or all files, we can go to fonts. And then if I select all my fonts, I can drag them over and by default, they move over there. But if I hold Command on a Mac or Control on a PC, you'll see when I click on them now, in that top left corner of this box, it says copy, so I can copy those over to a folder of my choosing, right? So just a quick tip on how to move things around inside of MediaPlace. All right, so let me make sure I get these over here into my fonts category there. All right, so now when I view my videos folder, I've got my video, I've got music, and I've got fonts. All right, so I'm gonna talk about one more folder type, and that's the smart folder. All right, so a smart folder is basically their filters over the entire database of all of your files inside of MediaPlace. All right, so if I select this smart folder and come over to the right side over here, you'll see that I have the opportunity to add rules. So if I select the add rule button here, I can add a rule based off of name, extension, tags, width, height, and rating. So for an example, let's do one based off of rating. All right, so I want to show only 4-star ratings. So let's click here on at least and let's choose is, and let's select 4 stars. All right, so now what that does is any file inside of MediaPlace that I rate a 4-star rating, it will show up in this smart folder, right? So it's super powerful, so that it automatically just pushes in 4-star rating files into this smart folder. So it's really cool. You can also add multiple rules inside of this, right? So you can come over here, add another rule. So I've got one on rating. You can then choose to base it off of tags as well, or extension types. So you can get real specific for your rules. So you can really cut down on the time that you're searching for files and just go to these smart folders and then specifically only see the certain things that you want to see right at a high level. All right, so then I could come over here and I could name this now, just because I know I would name it 4 stars. So then I could come over here and just choose this every time I want to come to just that high level view of 4-star rated files, they would be there. And then of course you can also, just like the regular folders can, you can add a subfolder inside as well. So it's a very powerful way to search across the entire database of MediaPlace itself to search for specific file types and really hone in on that search. All right, so if I go back up to all files, I want to show you that there's another powerful thing that you can do. So the benefit of multiple people using MediaPlace and working with each other in a collaborative way is that you can share MediaPlace packages, right? So say, for example, I wanted to export out these files here inside of, I want to export them out as a media package. So if I right click them, you're prompted with the context menu here, right? So I can export out files as is. I can zip them with compression or no compression, which is super cool. And then I can also export out as a MediaPlace package. So if I'm working with people that that are also using MediaPlace, I can export a MediaPlace package with these files, and they'll contain the ratings, they'll contain the tags, the notes, anything that I've put inside of MediaPlace, they will also have access to that as well. So it's super powerful to share files because they can send you MediaPlace packages, files that they've got with automatic tags in them, so that they can be integrated seamlessly into your MediaPlace workflow. So that's a super cool option there. And you can also copy and duplicate and then move things to the trash. All right, so that is an overview of the library page inside of MediaPlace. Stay tuned for future tutorials, and as always, keep creating.